Yes, only dead do not. Yes, only dead do not change. No? So yes, you can be open-minded. You can change. You can go. You can revise. You can update. You can understand you missed something. You did an error. You can realize. Yes, for sure. No. When I was talking about minimal revision and update, no, the idea is how to keep trace, no, as time goes by, no, on your modeling, no, because yes, certainly things can change. This is why this is a big challenge, no. Consider how complex is modeling, no. The idea that you keep most of the information fixed and you change, no, what is strictly necessary, no. That's a really big challenge in modeling, no? Still to be thoroughly studied. There was somebody there that wanted to talk, and then Ivan. I told him he does not fit the position. He's now angry.
This is called in psychoanalysis called symbolic castration, and I said
Okay. We are moving around a big number of tools for partitioning a set of alternatives A, but almost all refers to board-our approach, more or less. What I would like to know is, what do you think about this? At what extent they are just sums of different schools, and at what extent they can be useful for solving different kinds of problems?
You're talking about MCDM
Yeah, sure.
tools. I think that the idea of what you say, of what you call different schools, is obsolete. Practically, what we are talking about, no, is how to measure values. No? Values can be ordinal. They are not necessarily, you remember I said that the critical issue is how you measure the differences of preferences. Okay? No? So the difference of preference could be 0, 1. Exist or not. No? This is ordinal preferences. No? Otherwise they could be measurable on an interval scale or something else. No? And then it has a more quantitative nature. No? Now, what used to be, no, the distinction between, let's say, the ordinal, the majority, let's say, social choice inspired method, no, which was the electro methods and other, etc., no, and the multi-attribute value, no, because these are the two basic, no. It is obsolete now because conjoint measurement tells you that the set of axioms that characterizes both ordinal and more cardinal versions is the same. So why we should keep a distinction between these ones? We don't use it anymore. No? So as you see, the only thing that counts, no, is how do you measure the difference of preference and what are the axioms that you associate so that you have different types of functions representing the difference of preference, including the case in which this is purely ordinal. No? So, I think there is no more any place about that. This is part of the history of, let's say, multi-criteria decision making, but it's history. I do not care anymore about that. Ivan.
Well, just a little comment on the question, and comment on the common good discussion, because this is what I wanted to ask you, Alexis. First of all, I agree that there is no common good. I mean, I think the concept of common good is an ideological diversion. It is a term that mystifies rather than clarifies anything. Anybody can agree there is a common. I mean, if you say common good, and then Buddhists they all agree. I mean, Pope and I mean Hitler would have agreed on the idea of common good. Of course, common good. They would say that because it was this term. So everybody can agree on something. So I think it is an empty term. It doesn't mean anything. Nevertheless, I think Alexis has pointed out another term, which is just one S more. We don't have there is not common good, but there are common goods. And common goods are objects, things, resources. Be they material or immaterial. Ground polluter. Yes, so common goods is and those are the subject of public policy. Okay. So, there is no common, but common goods is something that we have in common in terms of we possess it, it's not privately owned, so it's not subject to market exchange. Although, and this is my question, there is this debate, the fact that some things that are commons, also not only material goods, but also practices, which can be marketable. Okay? I can have social relationships which are based on mutual respect and so on, become a market, managed by a market mechanism. The famous case of the Israeli school where the parents were coming late to pick up the children, and then the master said, okay, let's pay them for every minute they and what happened, this is a famous case, what happened in that situation is that the delay was greater. Why? Because before they were not being late, because they were showing respect to teachers, and they had this sort of social relationship which was binding. Now it became an issue of I'm buying you, I'm paying you, so you should wait because I'm paying and you accepted this as my tariff. Okay, so there are. I wouldn't be so sure that the distinction between what's out of the market and inside the market is once fixed once for all. And in fact, probably many processes that we do see evolving, it is that we, from the market economy, are becoming market society. So, things enter into the market. And this is something, so I see your contribution, and this is whether we can see something more, that in fact, that all these things you say that we have to structure the methods and know what the data we have and be aware of the formal properties and so on. Isn't this sort of also have this as a frontier against against, I would say really, this invasion of market systems into the spheres of social life which do not belong there? Okay.
I only have a short answer, just to specify a little bit better this idea of goods that do not have a market. You see, often happens in families that you own a good which cannot be shared. It happens, especially in heritage, that you heritate a house, but you cannot divide it. So you own it with your brothers and sisters. You have 15% of the building, but you don't have that 15%. You have an undistinguishable 15%, and you cannot sell your 15% unless all the other ones agree to sell their 50%. This is what happens. Citizenship, for instance, belongs to the common goods, which do not have a market, because you cannot sell it by your own. So the whole society needs to establish how to expand the frontiers of citizenship. That doesn't mean that citizenship is blocked. Tomorrow there will be citizens of Portugal, people who have never been in Portugal. There will be citizens of China people that live in places which is not China, because the concept of citizenship will evolve, no? But it will evolve as a whole. It will not evolve on a market basis in which I have a subjective value for that. No? So that's what makes the difference, no, between the two things. But it doesn't mean that it is fixed in a bed, as they say.
Okay.
Thanks. Lively discussion.
Just to end, 2,500, the grandfather of Alexis, that was happy to say this poem was donated. And fortunately, just because we are consultants, he was right maybe. Okay, thank you. And there is a gift that Claudia is coming to give to you to remember this meeting that I hope and we hope that was appreciated also by you.